So, I want to send out a memo to the Pittsburgh Pirates. I want to send out a memo to you guys. Please don't hit anybody in front of them kids. Don't listen to your manager this weekend. The kids are going to be watching. We already saw what the little kid did earlier in the year in minor league. Everybody thought it was cute, him acting like a disgruntled manager being kicked out of the game. That's not cute when a 5 to 7-year-old is acting like grown people being thrown out of a game. So we know what the Pirates are capable of. So Cubs, you be on your best behavior too, but I'm going to be watching that game Sunday night. If there is a fight Sunday night in Williamsport in front of the Little League crowd, this is going to be worse than the NBA Malice at the Palace. So attention Major League Baseball, Cubs and Pirates, best behavior Sunday night. Parents and kids will be watching. Who's to blame? But again, it is Fist Pump Friday, Fired Up Friday, Fried Chicken Friday. If you're down at Hammerstone's, get some of that fried chicken. See if my man Steve Reeb can be possibly playing on a patio this weekend. Check him out. Also to the sponsors down in the Soulard area, Allstate Insurance, Great Grizzly Bear, The Wood Shack, Hammerstones, and 9th Street Deli at Howard's as well. Also going in the news, man, I didn't know how to bring this up. I kind of wanted to talk about it the day I heard about this in the air about a month and a half ago. The first time this even got a mention. Jay-Z and Rock Nation with the NFL. We have to tread lightly on this one here. Because just watching on social media, watching the news, talking to friends about this, what does this mean to you? Or what do you think of Jay-Z in the NFL creating a partnership? Well, I'm quite sure everybody's heard of Jay-Z. Everybody's heard of the NFL. Where the NFL has been like on a down slide of halftime entertainment since Janet Jackson titty came out. We've been searching for entertainment. We just can't do that. To me, kids watching, got to explain that. You don't want to do that. So there has been a decline on the entertainment. You know, it's not consistent with the ooh and ah. The biggest stage of the year, the biggest game of the year, and you give us that bullshit we've been having the past few years. It's not consistent, credible entertainment. So the NFL has been up in there. So they want to take a page from the NBA again, even though they were the leaders in the NFL and providing us with that wonderful, wonderful halftime entertainment until Janet Jackson titty came out. So now they got to regroup. What can we do? What can we do? Let me go over here and talk to Adam Silk. What do you suggest? Well, we took a page from you guys before Janet Jackson titty came out. We got with the hip hop community. We started listening to the fans. We started listening to the young people, whether the clothing they wear, the music they listen to. We incorporated that all into the players that are coming in as well as the fans. Okay, NFL decides they want to do that. So they reach out to whoever they could who has that type of influence on the African-American dollar when it comes to the NFL. But something strange happened on the way to this whole idea. It was a roadblock. Colin Kaepernick. It basically comes up to the fact where they have to figure out how to get this discussion in about Kaepernick to even be talked about or discussed on him being blackballed by the NFL. So Jay-Z has to bring that up, you know, his relationship with Cap and things like that. But the NFL still needs this entertainment void taken care of. Rock Nation and Live Nation, NFL, equal success on both sides. That's how everybody is looking at this. All this was the NFL needing to get back on top with the halftime show. In comes Jay-Z and Rock Nation. If that was only it, why bring up Colin Kaepernick's name? I said this last year. I don't think he wants to play anymore. I think it's much bigger than playing on the field, obviously, it is, considering everything that has happened. But my thing on this, what does this mean when they said, hey, we still got some things to do. We got to come together. Now, come together on what? You signed with the NFL. What does that mean? The NFL signed it with Rock Nation. What does that mean? What does this mean? What's going to happen in February in Miami at Super Bowl 54? What is it going to improve, enhance the game better? Are you creating jobs by doing this? So I'm a little confused on what they're actually doing. But from a hip-hop perspective and a sports fan of the NFL, but not reading between the lines, this is going to be something to sit back and watch. I want to sit back and watch this. I want to sit back and watch. Because I really don't know what it means. It sounds something that's going to be very, very interesting. But looking at the comments throughout social media, people have come up with this wild conspiracy type thing with Jay-Z and the NFL. They really have. Will this move stop other players from being blackballed from the NFL that are doing things outside of their locker room and the team facility that affects their lives and everyday life in their community? Is this a way to bring Colin Kaepernick back to the NFL, considering what happened last night in preseason? Another quarterback went down. Or was this the Kansas City Shuffle? I want y'all to look over here, because something else is going on over here. Was it that type of move? This going to change the damn NFL theme song? We're going to get a little hip-hop, Jay-Z, Kendrick Lamar type thing. I don't know what this means. I've tried to read from Roger Goodell's standpoint, from Jay-Z's camp standpoint, the interviews, the press releases. I've read it all in the past 2.5 days, and no one is really saying what the hell this means. This basically means, like in the commercial, to buy your lottery ticket to support schools. How many schools have shut down since the lotto system has been in place? How many billion-dollar lottery winners have we had in the past 5 years? And how many schools have closed? Thank you. So I don't understand if they got to collect data to see what this means. Whose data they collect? From season ticket holders? Certain age demographic, certain region of the country, fans coming into the game. Is going to be a questionnaire there for you, a survey. Who's going to collect the data? Who's hiring the firm to collect the data on what the NFL should do when it considers the merging of the NFL, Jay-Z, and Rock Nation? That's the only thing I have. Because I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. It sounds like, to me, we've seen this before in the 80s and the 90s and early 2000s. When a player did something wrong, they would go to a low housing area, low income area, and build 4 or 5 houses for some single women. Okay, now let's go back and let's see what that has done for those women and those kids. Now give me that data and then we can talk. All them houses Ward done built. All those houses he built. Show me what has happened to those families that have went through that whole process, and then I'll maybe listen to what Jay-Z and the NFL are trying to do. I still don't know what they're trying to do. Just throw a big-ass concert? Now, we're going to get another Beyonce Super Bowl album release party on Man Day, which is the Super Bowl, the last damn day, the last game of our sport. If it's going to be an all-female thing, you let me know right now. I'm not saying I don't like Beyonce. I love Beyonce singing, but Beyonce talking is something totally different. Something totally different. You know how you looked at the TV the first time you heard Jasmine got a real voice? The first time you heard Karen Parsons, Hillary from Fresh Prince, real voice. But the first time you heard Beyonce real voice, you were like, what in the hell was that? So if it's going to be that way, Rock Nation NFL, let us know. Who's to Blame. Again, this is Dre Montez here, host of Who's to Blame, brought to you by the Weed Squad. We're here on this Fist Pump Friday, Fired Up Friday, and Fireball Friday here at the Office Lounge on the patio with the people, by the people, and of the people. Good luck to my softball guys heading down to Jackson, Mississippi to the PSA World Softball Tournament, Premier Softball Association World Tournament. Oh, the talk's in the car. Oh, you got your drinkers in one, your smokers in another, and your old heads listening to 80s slow jams and R&B, reminiscing. Oh, those were the days. Those were the days. Speaking of those were the days, did you see the NFL preseason games last night? I like how sometimes, this next segment here, NFL preseason, how some people tell us it's just the preseason. How some people take so much pride in it, from writers to actual television personalities to friends and family members. How 1 minute it's just the preseason. And then after 2 games, look at the panic mode that's up. Look at the panic mode. At the one preseason game, oh, Josh Darnold looks amazing. Kyler Murray, it was a great number 1 pick right there for Arizona, huh? Wasn't it? It was a great pick. Oh, Haskins doesn't look like he's prepared for the NFL at all. Looked like there's disarray going on with the Raiders. But last night, you got to realize something about the preseason. I don't think none of those guys want to go back to where the hell they came from. Some do, some don't. The majority of these guys for the preseason are trying to make a team, trying to make a life, trying to make a difference for themselves, for their little baby son of a bitch, and for the people back home. They're trying to make a difference. Some people just do not want to go back to eating ramen noodles and raw potatoes ever again in life. I get it, you're nervous. You're shell-shocked. You got to look in the mirror and go get it. They hitting out here, boss. You see that Tennessee game? They are hitting out here. They're not playing. These guys are trying to make a team. And next week, they really going to bring the hammer, these guys trying to make the team. I'm not talking about the veterans out here. They know what to do and what not to do. But these kids who have been labeled disgruntled, not a team player, hasn't learned his lesson, doesn't take coaching advice, that guy is tired. He's probably 25, trying to change it all around. I'm not that guy anymore. I'm just trying to get on a team here in the NFL and be the best teammate and player I can be. When do it. Some can do it and some can't. Some are very, very hard-headed. They think once they get that invite, they can be anybody they want to be. There's a player that was in the Saints camp that took it upon himself to just leave without telling nobody and showed up the next day like nothing was wrong. Sent his ass home. You can't do that, man. There is no excuse in America that should keep you away if you have an invite to an NFL team and you just up and leave. I got to hear this excuse. I got to hear what made you leave and not tell nobody. I got to hear this. I got to hear this. Please don't tell me childbirth. You can record that shit. No. No. You can record that now. You can do FaceTime in the labor room. Only thing you missing is the physical effect of cutting the cord and the smell of birth, which is awful. But when you get this far, the mentality of preseason is different for those guys out there in that second and third and fourth quarter. It's totally, totally different. It's man-eat world out there. And I love seeing how these guys are going out there attacking the process. And I'm with you. I think some of these college football programs are setting these guys up for failure that are going into the NFL. They're setting them up for failure. They're bringing these college-style plays to the NFL. These are grown men out here. It's like doing the trick with the ball. They're not falling for that, man. I like the creativity at some point, but when everybody at home and on the opposing side of the ball know what's getting ready to happen, that's not called a college trick play. It's upsetting to see that. The learning curve we learned last night with Kyler Murray. Look, everybody has tried to go through the different ways to call an audible, catching the defense in a defensive scheme that they're not prepared for. So you switch it up a little bit. You switch it up to get an advantage off the defensive set that you see, either with loud barking or hand movement. He's not the first guy to get called for false start or delay a game for body language. He's not the first one. He won't be the last. Big Ben used to do it all the time. T12 used to get called for this all the time. Elway's been called for a few times. But if it works, it works. It has nothing to do with him being immature. It has a lot to do with that damn coach getting a job with a losing record. Prove me wrong, NFL. Prove me wrong. But just based on the preseason itself, outside of the gameplay, let's talk about these contracts. Is Dak really a $40 million man? Is he really a $40 million? $40 million, that's a lot to pay somebody. The expectations are through the roof. Now, you can be like anybody else